ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Insight, the show that brings you information on things you need to know. And this is the political season. We've had some elections, and we have newly elected and soon to be newly appointed officers in county, city, and all kinds of government, state government as well. And it's exciting for us in Coffee County and Tullahoma and Manchester right now because we're looking at a new era in our whole area, our whole community, in the fact that people all over the country have found Middle Tennessee and the Middle South to be the new Mecca, and they are coming, folks. They are coming. And I'm excited today to have my friend and partner from things we did years ago together, our newly elected mayor, Judd Matheny, the newly elected mayor of Coffee County. And Judd, welcome and congratulations.
Well, thank you, John. I'm very proud to be here and proud to have been your friend for 30 years.
Well, Judd and I have been in and out of a whole lot of stuff.
We have been in and out of a lot of stuff.
Judd has represented us in the state legislature several terms and
16 years. Yep.
16 years
sure
and done a good job. Worked with the TBI?
Alcoholic Beverage Commission.
Alcoholic Beverage Commission.
10 years in law enforcement. Some of that was as a patrolman, and some of it was as a drug investigator, some of it was as a canine officer. And so I've
had military service.
Spent 8 years military service. I did, yes.
So thank you for that.
Thank you, and I have
all of those services that
3 years of a private security company, and just, you know, two of my highlights. Everybody always kind of asks me sometimes, what are your highlights in your life? Well, I got to protect Billy Graham for 4 days and spend 4 days with him, and when he did his crusade back in, I believe, 2000, and one of the most incredible moments, can't even really describe it. And also protected Mikhail Gorbachev when he came to the United States one time. So I've had some cool stuff to do too.
Yeah. And protected the Titans.
Oh yeah, for 3 years, yeah.
I bet that was a lot of,
and
I bet that was interesting.
And the Predators too at the same time. It was a busy time in my life.
Yeah, I bet it was. So, well, I'll tell you what we're going to do right now is take a quick commercial break, and then we'll get back with Judd and find out about the future of Coffee County.
Here at Barkview Senior Living, they're human friendly. That's why I love it here, and so does my senior human. When they want a bite, they get chef-prepared meals, and so do I. Movies in the theater, day trips, walks on the trail, and other senior humans to play with. The grass and the grounds are exquisite. It's everything my human needs to be healthy and active. Parkview Senior Living, for your dog's best friend, you.
To be honest, I was skeptical about getting the COVID-19 vaccine. I checked what the CDC says and spoke with my doctor about the potential side effects. It definitely made me much less anxious. She told me if I have some arm pain or feel tired, that's completely normal as my body builds a defense to the virus. I was willing to take the vaccine to protect me, my family, and my friends. Join the millions of Tennesseans who have decided to give COVID-19 vaccines a shot. Visit covid19.tn.gov to find an appointment today.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back, and we have the newly elected Mayor Judd Matheny with us today on Insight. And Judd, I guess the first question I want to ask is, when will you be sworn in?
Well, I have actually have three options. One is I was told I could be sworn in at any time between now and September 1st, but I don't have a bond that will be effective to protect me as an elected official until September 1st. So I just don't want to do that. And plus, we have a mayor and everything's running on autopilot in a lot of areas. But technically, I could do that, but I'm going to wait. August 31st is when most of the newly elected people are going to be sworn in at 3:30 in the afternoon, and I could do it then, but I wanted Bobby Carter to swear me in. He's been a personal friend for a long time. He's overcome a lot of challenges, and I'm very proud of him. But he will not be able to swear me in until the morning of September 1st. So I'm actually going to go to the Sheriff's Department, and when the sheriff is sworn in and all the deputies, I'll be sworn in at that time, early morning on September 1st, which is technically the first day my bond is in effect too. So I'll be in the mayor's office on September 1st.
So, sounds pretty smart to have a bond.
Yes. Yeah, and it's nothing against the judges that are swearing everybody in on the 31st at all. They're great people. I'm proud of Ewell and Will Lockhart and all those people. But I just wanted Bobby to do it, and he agreed to do it. And by statute, he could not do it until the next day after he was sworn in. So that's
okay.
why we're doing it.
All right. Well, Judd, what do you see? What are you doing? I know one thing you're doing right now that I think I don't remember being done before. But between the time you've been elected until the time you've been sworn in, you are individually bringing county employees in one by one.
Well, it's not so much the employees. Employees that want to meet, absolutely. Department heads, you have to remember we have several hundred employees, so it's hard to meet with everyone. Right. But I do have an open door policy, and I have meeting with anybody that wants to meet. My primary goals between now and the end of August are to meet with every new commissioner and re-elected commissioner that we have, as well as some industrial board individuals, other elected officials and appointed officials, and just get, I have a good understanding from what I could find out in the last year and what's going on in county government and interviews with people, but I've got to put together a team, not just to work to run county government, but also for the committee system. We have 30-something committees in the county, so I want to look at trimming some of those back or combining them perhaps. But ideally, what I'm doing, John, is I'm asking everybody in detail and doing a lot of listening. What are their priorities for this county? Why did they run for office? What do they think have been their accomplishments since they've been in office, if they're incumbents, or what is the primary reason they ran? And what is their background personally, education-wise, professional, learn about their families, what makes them tick. What committees would they like to serve on and why? And how come? Sure. And it's very eye-opening because the things that I thought were the main priorities, they aren't for some people. They're totally different, and it's opening my eyes, which is the reason I'm doing this. So once I interview everybody, then I'm boiling down all those, and I've got 3 great big, easels that full of paper, and I'm doing all this manually so I can see them all at once, and just so I can carry them home with me in the evenings and look at them. There's a reason I'm doing it manually too. But then I'm boiling down the common denominators and trying to get a median direction that everybody wants to go or does not want to go. And then I want to build a committee system that will empower that, enable that to happen to the best of our ability. Not just throw names out there and see what sticks later, because the people that you put in place are going to be the people that need to have the mindset and the decision-making capability to execute these things. But I want to delegate as much as I can and empower as many people as I can to be able to be the best they can. I consider one of my main jobs as county mayor to, of course, lead the county and be the executive, the chief financial officer, but it's to make sure that the commissioners and the department heads have everything they need to do their job. And it's also to instill more confidence in the employees and to give the employees in the county, I think they need a better voice. And the committee system with the mayor in the full commission meetings, and there's insurance issues that have to be dealt with, there's pay issues, and no matter what you say, our employees are our greatest asset. This county is doing well financially. We have strong reserve funds in most of our departments. We have strong budget balance, and a lot of that has been, the vast majority of it's been the county employees and being such good stewards and ambassadors of the county. We're also experiencing a lot of growth, which is bringing in some more revenue. So there's such a balance I need to strike for me to feel comfortable to make the best team that I can. And of course, am I going to make some mistakes? Yes. Am I going to be able to correct those? Absolutely. Am I going to learn from them? Yes. But by talking to all these people, I'm going to walk into office on September 1st knowing much more than I would if I just hung out and got sworn in and then tried to start.
Right.
And so it's actually a lot of fun. I'm enjoying it, and everybody has been cooperative. I mean, I've called and asked for meetings, and everybody has just been over backwards to make sure that they get in there and get to meet. And I literally have probably 45 hours worth of meetings just this week scheduled, and then about 30 hours next week, plus I go to 2 days of CTAS training next week, which is going to be handy. CTAS is a technical, it's County Technical Advisory Services. It is a technical service extension of the University of Tennessee, and they help county governments operate and answer questions. And Heather Duncan, who I have known my entire life, used to be our court clerk here, is our representative, and she's been so helpful. She's a great lady. And I talked to her a lot before the campaign, not about any secret stuff. You know, she didn't play any favoritism, I know, but I would just have questions as I went through about things I was formulating in my head. But now that I'm elected, she and I are talking turkey, and so it's a lot going on. Now, once I get this initial set of interviews over with and next Monday's interviews, I go to the 2 days of CTAS training, so I'll be able to take a lot of the things that have been told to me, recommended to me, and see if they're actually feasible, see how I could implement those. Coffee County is a bit unusual in that we don't have a chartered form of government. I could explain that by, it gives you 4 corners to operate within.
Right,
and it's pretty well spelled out who can do what and who can't do what. We operate by a loose coalition of Tennessee codes, Attorney General's opinions, and we pass resolutions within the county body that have the effect of law, basically, on how we operate. So we have a lot of how we have done things and can do things could potentially be open to various forms of interpretation. So I want to also instill consistency in the way we operate government, not only in expectations that the general public has from their officials, but what the commissioners can expect in meetings. And to give you an example, I want to make sure that everything we do has a 7-day notice period. I believe the general public and the commissioners and the appointed officials and other elected officials, they should know a week in advance what's going to be at the next meeting, and any agendas, any information that would accompany those agendas can also be made available. I want to make this information available on our website and in any other form that we're supposed to be making public notice in. And I want to have a bulletin board in the main lobby of the county mayor's, of the county administrative plaza, that has all the committees that meet and what their agenda will be and when they meet, so that anybody from the public that comes in maybe to get their tags at Teresa McFadden's office, or comes in to see me, or comes to see another office, they can stop and look at that billboard also,
right,
and see, or the bulletin board, and see what's going on. And also, I'm going to install cameras in the full commission room and in the committee rooms that will broadcast live the meetings, and also be able to archive those. And I've already gotten quotes on those, and we're ready to go. I'm going to present those to the commission. My plan is September 13th to get those approved and get installed. And we will strengthen our county website is my intention, and it will hold those, it will be able to broadcast those, and then we'll be able to also hold them archived with the agenda as a thumbnail, so people can look at those. And it's not real sophisticated like it used to be. It's pretty simple to do. So that's another thing I want to do to make it easier on the general public to find out what we have going on. And there's a couple of committees that meet outside of the county administrative plaza when they meet, and I'm going to ask them, I'm going to require them to come in under those cameras and meet. And one of them has already said no problem, and I'm sure the rest of them will do the same thing.
One quick question before we go to commercial. We changed the number of districts.
Yes.
In the county, and that how many commissioners less do we have?
We have 3 less. We went from 21 districts to basically 9 super districts with 2 in each one. So we have 18 commissioners now, and that's still higher than the average in the state. I think it's good progress that we've made to trim them back a bit. 18 is easy for me to work with.
Sure.
When I was in the state legislature, I was oftentimes had 35 or 40 legislators that I was in charge of making sure information was disseminated. And
right.
So 18 is a pleasure, and they're all good people. 16 of the 18 I've known years and years and years, and good people, and worked together with many of them already.
Right.
And I think I'm just excited that we're going to have much more than just your routine honeymoon period.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be back with our newly elected mayor of Coffee County, Judd Matheny.
We teach Parkinson's patients how to move big and not let the Parkinson's slow them down. I've had patients I've treated in-house that could not even stand up, could not roll over in the bed, left the facility walking with a walker, have come back to us in outpatient and continued their big program, and are now completely, handling life. The success of the program is just phenomenal.
Let us champion your recovery. Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
The individuals with dementia, those with Parkinson's, those that have maybe mobility issues, need caregivers. Well, those caregivers are 24 hours a day at home, and they never get a rest. And if they have to go to work, they're kind of out of luck. So that's why Trinity came into existence 25 years ago, to allow the caregivers to have a safe center where they could put their loved ones, know they would be well cared for, stimulated, fed good, nutritious meals, have activities to their level, and then the caregiver can stop by and pick them up and go on home and have some continuity into their life.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Welcome back to Insight, the show that brings you information that you just might ought to know. And today we're visiting with newly elected County Mayor Judd Matheny. And Judd, I think my first question for this segment is, we are all in Coffee County, Tullahoma, this whole Mid-South, not just Middle Tennessee, but the Mid-South is the mecca for the rest of the people in this country. We've known for years they'd find this beautiful place sooner or later, and they are coming.
There were many of us from here that have been sounding the alarms to the state for quite a while, mostly about the aging population and how this would be will be a wonderful place to retire. And I think the state began to really notice that about 10 years ago when we passed laws like that did away with inheritance taxes and gift taxes and things of that nature, and made it much easier and more economical to park your wealth here. And so more people looked at coming to move here. My parents, my mother and stepfather, moved to the villages years and years and years ago when it was small, and then 20 years later they had to get out of there because it had grown into a monster city. I see, like it or not, there's already in Sumner County and areas around Nashville, there's already a lot of communities now, 55 and up communities of active seniors that are populating those areas. So for a long time we thought that was going to be our biggest asset coming in. It's not only that now, but it's also everybody in the country. It's people that have gotten tired of overregulation and overtaxation in the Northeast, in the West Coast, and where housing has been much more expensive, the cost of living has been much more expensive, and many of them have sold their homes. They might have still had what we would consider an astronomical mortgage of $700,000 or $800,000 on a $2 million house. Well, you come down here with $1.2 million, you can buy quite a house or a farm.
Sure.
So many people have come here with cash. And that's why we've seen the real estate market like it is. It has just boomed so much. And then with that comes a lot of intellectual knowledge, comes business knowledge, people bringing their experiences and bringing their businesses here, and it's not showing any signs of slowing down whatsoever. Add to the fact that we have Rutherford County next to us, which for a long time was the fastest growing county in the country, and it's still in the top 5, is it's starting to slow down a little bit, but not enough to really make a difference. And we're right next to them. I mean, Rutherford County runs water and sewer all the way to Coffee County line now, and we're about 9 miles away or better. So they're ready. They're coming this way. People that are escaping Rutherford, we're escaping Nashville, are escaping Rutherford County now, coming here. Perfect example is the number of new housing starts going on in Manchester City and the urban growth area. Urban growth boundary right around Nashville, or excuse me, around Manchester, it's over 3,000. And for a town of about 12,000 people to have a 25% increase underway is incredible. And Tullahoma is beginning to also see many of those same increases. A lot more retail coming to Tullahoma.
Yes.
And we're beginning to see more retail in Manchester. We're still seeing a strong industrial base looking at Manchester, very strong. And we have determined that about 5,000 plus people leave this county every day to go work somewhere else. And that means that we have the ability to still have a larger industrial base here. And then larger industrial base creates, by default, a larger retail base. Whether it's clothing stores, hotels, motels, gas stations, all those things, restaurants supplement large manufacturing bases. The Manchester Industrial Park, the Coffee County Industrial Park is full. The Manchester Industrial Park, which was started about a dozen years ago, is getting more and more tenants. They have Great Lakes Cheese. They're already employing thousands there. And then we're looking, of course, at a potential mega site. For those that don't know what a mega site is, it is a site that is ready and prepared for a huge business like an automotive manufacturer. It could be an aircraft manufacturer. It could be two of those, or it could be a major automotive manufacturer and 2 or 3 second-tier manufacturers that go with it. But it is going to be a large, durable good type of manufacturing facility. When I was fortunate enough in the state of Tennessee to sit on committees, whether they be budget or commerce and insurance, or I was Speaker Pro Tem during several of these, so I was at large on every committee. But I have helped directly and indirectly build 5 mega sites in this state.
So you've been involved with 5
yes, and my involvement has ranged from sites tours to approving budgets, being involved in the hearings, meeting the CEOs of those companies and learning what they need, whether they're international companies or domestic companies that are expanding. And I have learned that, and I want to pass this knowledge on as best I can. The state of Tennessee, when a mega site is built, the state takes primary responsibility to do that. And it's very difficult to get the state to commit to something that may be $800 million to $1.2 billion. But that's about what a mega site costs.
Right.
Now, the state of Tennessee has already done a feasibility study of a large tract of land in Manchester, and they've also put some actual money into some gates and some riprap and things. So even though, and they have an option on the land that is good through the end of this year, and then they still have some refusal rights after that. So this is a very real thing. What is incumbent upon us as Coffee County, both Tullahoma, Manchester, and the rural areas, is to make sure that the state of Tennessee knows that we're all on the same sheet of music with what we want and how we're going to help them handle it. The state is not going to say, Manchester, you've got to spend $100 million before we do this. Tullahoma, you've got to spend $40 million before we do this, or the county has to spend X number of dollars before we do this. They're going to come in and do these things for us. These things would include a lot of water expansions, sewer expansions, roads, railroad spurs, electricity substations. We work with TVA very closely, and this is. They want to know that we're going to scale up to support these things, provide the quality of life that the new employees that will be working here need, that we have an educational system that can provide for them, that we have a medical infrastructure that can provide for them, safety and security. We have a full-time, perhaps, fire department out in the county, since this is out in the county. There's just things that they're going to want to know that as revenues increase for us and this thing becomes a reality, that we're going to meet it on the terms that we can and are supposed to,
right,
based on what is generally our revenues. It is daunting when you look at it as it's kind of like eating the elephant one bite at a time.
Right.
But it can be done. You've done it before, right? But when you look at it and think, oh my gosh, that's so much money, that's so much work, I got to pull so many people together. Well, I've done it before, I've seen it done before, and I've seen it be very effective. And we have the stakeholders here in this county that are capable of doing this. We have the talent from industrial recruitment people and economic professionals to be able to pull this off. I met with Senator Bill Hagerty's office last Thursday personally, and they are 100% in favor of helping us with this. Bill Hagerty was the Economic Community Development Commissioner for the state of Tennessee when I served, so he knows how I work, and I know he knows how to build a mega site. So we have everything it's going to take, and I'm looking forward to putting the team together to help make that happen, and make sure that the governor knows that we're behind it 100%, and we stand ready to do what it takes to make that happen. And it's going to be it will be the greatest probably beneficial economic thing this county's ever seen. To date, it's been AEDC, but this could usurp AEDC in pure dollars one day for what it does. And of course, AEDC is growing again too. This is and you know, we've got interstate issues that we're looking at that are positive, and it's just a lot of growth coming, and we've got to embrace it, and we're going to do it.
Yep. Well, we'll take a quick commercial break and be back and finish up.
MacArthur Manor Assisted Living is passionate about creating better experiences for our Manchester seniors. Our residents describe us in a few words.
Welcoming.
When you walk through the doors at MacArthur Manor, we'll treat you like family.
Caring.
Through high standards of personalized care, we help residents live life to its fullest.
Engaging.
With a wide range of life-enriching activities, there is something for everyone at MacArthur Manor. With our residents and staff now vaccinated, call us today to schedule your safe and personalized tour.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
All right, folks, we're back, and we're going to close up with our newly elected Coffee County Mayor, Judd Matheny. And Judd, you know, people are talking, we've done a 2040 plan here. One of the big things is jobs, good jobs, manufacturing jobs. We've got to realize that that's getting ready to happen.
Yes, sir.
But we need to be ready. You know, we don't need we need to be ready to house these people. We need to be ready to zone stuff to where people, because they're coming.
That's right. Planning and zoning are going to have to work very closely together. Both cities, Manchester, Tullahoma, and the county, all need to work together on how we're laying out our communities, what corridors we're leaving open for roads in the future, how we're going to work on the things that we have joint responsibility over, how we're going to make sure that there's land and monies and talent available for those. All these things are coming, and we can either let it own us and go along for the ride and be playing catch up the entire time, which is a mess. Rutherford County ran into that very early on, or we can see it coming like we do now, put the right people in place to embrace it, and we can ride it for the most part.
And the citizens need to be involved.
Yes.
But they also need to realize that professionals have to be hired to plan this stuff. You can't take a doctor just because he's a doctor, or a lawyer because he's a lawyer, and let them plan your city, because that's not what they're trained in.
That's true, and we want everybody to have a voice. Sure. And there are talents out there that, you know, you were mentioning one to me on the last show about an individual that had so much planning experience that I didn't know was here. But there are people here that we don't know their talents, and we want to use those. But there are also people that they have a job and they have a responsibility to make these things happen. We need to empower them to do it. That's right. Not try to undermine them.
Thanks, buddy, and congratulations. I look forward to the next, 4 years?
Yes, sir.
All right, and more. Folks, thanks for watching. We'll be back with more insight next time.